Undirected team. How's it going, y'all? Y'all are the best audience on the internet. I am maildotsale, the undirected guy. And we gotta talk about this, team. We gotta talk about this because it's important. Real estate is something that I think all of us at some point want to get into or consider getting into. And we think about real estate like phrases like generational wealth come into play, which is something that I think is somewhat misleading in the way that it's used. But it's still something that is prevalent that we have to understand and realize that when we get into these situations with these real estate deals, that they can end up crippling us financially for the rest of our natural lives, when all that we were trying to do was have the opposite effect. Well, we're gonna see what happened with these ladies and see how they got into a nightmarish situation by trusting a house flipping company, which turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. The other thing that we have to tie into this is anytime that I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna try to list the most scammiest, is that a word? The most scam-ridden cities in the United States. And I'm gonna have to say that Chicago is number one. Chicago is the number one finesse state. You can say Illinois, but we'll call Chicago because it's a city, but it's got to be the worst. I'm only 6 hours away from Chicago in Minnesota, so we get a lot of Chicago actors here in Minnesota, and I must say, they come to Minnesota with some of the craziest harebrained schemes and manipulation tactics that I've ever seen in the world. And I've been many of places throughout the United States specifically. So that's where I'm at, team. Let's get into this video. Let's watch it, and we'll discuss as we go through.
Lies and stealing There's a home flipping business in Chicago that's accused of ruining lives and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from everyday people who just wanted to build some generational wealth.
We have no idea where the money is.
How much are we talking about here?
I have lost $169,000. We are at risk of losing over $200,000. I'm sorry.
I'll break down exactly what happened. So if you watch HGTV, you know it's all about home flipping, and it looks easy. It looks like it's something very profitable. So for months, we've been looking into a company called iFlipChicago, and they do two things. They have a boot camp where they claim to teach you exactly everything you need to know to flip a home. Then they also offer to partner with first-time investors who have a little bit of money and are ready to invest in their own flip. But now two new lawsuits accuse iFlipChicago of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars and essentially running a real estate Ponzi scheme. A lot of different types of people signed up for iFlipChicago. One of them was an emergency room doctor. Her name was Amira Hamid, and she invested almost $200,000 with iFlip. But she says she had good reason to trust them.
My name is Ramo Bay, and it's my wife,
Michelle Nicole Bay. That's Amira's own cousin, Michelle Bay.
Yeah, and who can't trust family?
So Michelle and her husband, Ramo Bay, run iFlipChicago, and for $800, you can sign up for a boot camp with them. Or if you have a little money to invest, you can partner with iFlipChicago and do a flip together. That's what a lot of people did. And this company, they claim to offer everything you need to get started. So they give you access to a lender who can give you the money to buy and rehab the home. They identify the home, the perfect home for you to buy and flip. And then they also have a team of contractors that they claim to work with who can help you remodel the home. Finally, they offer to sell the home for you once everything is complete. And the only thing they do is they take 30% of the total profit.
You don't have to worry about any of this stuff because they have all of these relationships.
Now, iFlip and Ramo posted a lot of stuff online about these flips, about successful projects they were doing. So a lot of people who saw this thought it was a good idea.
If you're interested in actually learning how to flip homes If you want to learn how to do this for real, iFlipChicago bootcamps is 100% hands-on.
There are even a few realtors who signed up because they saw.
Here's my issue though. They just said they'll do everything for you, but they're also saying that they'll teach you. Which one is it? Can I just give you my $200,000 and then you're gonna go do all the work and then return me back $250K in 3 to 6 months after you flip the house? Or do I have to put the work in myself? Because if that's the case, I don't need you at all. And the other thing is this. They make their money off of their boot camps, right? And they Ponzi scheme you when they get your money. But a lot of times with the people that say that they can make all this money, what do they need you and your money for? That's where a lot of the issue comes in. And it's the basis of the understanding where the finesse comes in. They're not making money from flipping houses. They're making money to teach you how to flip houses. Shouldn't that be a red flag? Let's continue. We got about 5 more minutes.
Saw what Ramo Bay and iFlip were doing online, and they thought maybe they could learn something.
There were a lot of people who had successfully done flips with him.
One of those realtors is Tatiana Barnett, and she'd actually flipped some properties in Indiana, but she wanted somebody with more experience to help her with her next project. So here's what happened next. Both Tatiana and Amira were found properties that iFlip thought would be a good fit for them. They were distressed homes on the south side of Chicago. These 2 homes in particular were in the Woodlawn area. And as you'll see, a lot of the iFlip properties that are in bad condition right now are also in Woodlawn. So after finding the perfect homes for these 2 women, iFlip then wanted them to sign up for a commercial mortgage, which is a really short-term mortgage with high interest rates. And they were gonna get this mortgage and use the money to buy part of the home and also fund the rest of the renovation. But as a condition of getting the mortgage, they had to have Ramo Bay, the owner of iFlip, sign on to their loans. But they were told that's not very unusual.
It's not something that's unheard of if you don't have a track record of doing, fix and flips with lenders.
A part of the iFlip package. And
Team, I just had to look this up real quick. Sorry, I had to pause this because we want to get more understanding of what's going on when we're looking at these houses now. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in real estate, but I know that one of the biggest things that you want to look at when you are purchasing real estate, and hold on one second, we're going to jump out of this because I want to show you this real fast. One of the things that you want to look at in real estate, and one of the most important things in real estate, is location, 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 location. I know that, and I'm not even a real estate expert. I own no real estate at this point. So I just want y'all to understand that when you're thinking about a place called Woodlawn, which I just looked up, well, Woodlawn, and we're going to check it out right here, is probably not the best location to try to flip a house at, okay? And here's the reason why. You're going to look at Woodlawn right here, and you're going to see a couple of different... Does look, it's close to the water, though. But you can just look, it's outdated. But we're going to look right here and see what the median household income is as of 2018, and I don't think it's rose much more from that. $26,415 is the median household income. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, right? But let's just see what they say right here about Woodlawn. We're just trying to understand a little bit more of what's going on. Urban feel, okay. That's a polite way to say hood. Ghetto, okay? That's just the truth. And most residents rent their homes in Woodlawn. So also you have to look at this. Most residents rent their homes. Now, when you look at more prominent neighborhoods that are gonna be nicer, most of the time, these are homeowners living in the neighborhood, because when you own something and you're 100% responsible for it, you're gonna tend to treat it better. It's no different than when you go out and buy a rental car. Or not buy a rental. When you rent a rental car. When you rent a rental car, you're gonna drive it like you don't give a damn about it, because you're gonna return it back to its owner, and anything that you do to it outside of what would be normal wear and tear. As long as you don't crash it or scratch it up, it doesn't matter. So you can drive it like a speed demon, shift it hard, clutch it, burnouts and all that. None of that's gonna matter. That's the same thing when you think about home rentals. Now, not everybody's gonna destroy their home as a rental, but they're not gonna care about it as much as the owner, because they know for them it's just temporary living. Eventually they're gonna move on with their lives and leave that property. And whatever they left, they know they no longer have to deal with. At most, they lose their damage deposit. So when you think about a neighborhood that is mostly being rented, you're gonna realize that it might not necessarily be the best neighborhood. And lastly, they're trying to flip the property. They're not trying to buy properties to rent out to people. So why would you want to buy property in an area to flip the house to sell it if your actual goal is not to rent? It makes no sense. So this seems like a terrible place to even rent a home outside of the whole Ponzi scheme situation. But let's finish up.
And one of the reasons a lot of people invest is because they offer full service. So everything from finding the property, getting the lending, and even in this case, giving you a real estate attorney that you can use to review documents as you're going along the iFlip process. So by this point, iFlip has identified 2 homes for the women to buy and invest in, and the women are set up to get funding, and all that's left to do is close on the properties and sign a ton of paperwork. But this is a critical point, and this is where they say everything went wrong. So at closing, they had to sign hundreds of pages of documents. It was a really long process. But there were 4 sentences buried in these documents that really came back to bite them in the, There was this really strange cross-collateralization clause in the loans that meant if Ramo was late on any of his loans, the lender would charge what Ramo owed to the loans held by other iFlip participants like Amira and Tatiana.
The loans then went on to fail. They were never written to succeed. They were predatory loans.
This was never about flipping property. This was about taking loans out to pay a debt that didn't belong to us.
And Ramo had several past due balances.
Hold up, you may be wondering, why would anyone sign an agreement like that? This must be their fault. But both women had hired an attorney that was supposed to look out for them and look out for language like this. But here's the thing, that attorney, he was recommended by iFlip. And Tatiana says he never even showed up at her closing. While Amira says he never disclosed any of this cross-collateral language. Now, he's also being sued along with iFlip. Now, this is the part the lawyers are calling a Ponzi scheme. You can see on the women's loan statements that they're being charged interest for other loans that don't belong to them. There are thousands of dollars in these cross-interest charges, and they were all transferred from loans that Ramo was late on. Now, time eventually ran out on these short-term loans, and it left people in a really bad spot. We found at least 7 iFlip properties are in foreclosure right now, including Tatiana's. A lot of these homes have been gutted and they're unlivable, they're vacant, and they've been that way for a long time because iFlip participants could never get the money from their loans to actually fund the renovation or rehab. Now these unfinished homes are just an eyesore in the South Chicago communities where they are. And again, a lot of them are in the Woodlawn neighborhood.
It's an eyesore.
The Woodlawn neighborhood.
Something gets to be done.
It's disgusting that this is 2 years later and we have no answer. We have more questions
2
than answers.
years?
Now, we ran this story last week.
A bad business model or a Ponzi scheme? That's what several people who invested money with a popular Chicago home flipping business are asking themselves tonight.
And right before it aired, we actually heard from iFlip's owner, Ramo Bey. And he says he's actually a victim in all of this too. He says that language that allowed his loan payments to go to other accounts wasn't disclosed to him. And now he says he's going to go after the lender that is causing all of this damage. Now, it's important to note that we know from emails Ramo had at least 20 loans with this lender, and he also had his own real estate attorney helping him with iFlip. The loan company told me this cross-collateralization language was standard on all their loans. So it's kind of unclear to us why Ramo is saying he had no idea about this. Ramo is currently in Atlanta, but he says he'll be happy to come back and do a sit-down interview with us. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, Ramo is still holding investment seminars on Facebook, teaching people how to invest and how to get funding for their next flip.
Wow. The finesse is real. Sheesh. Team. This is a disaster. Why would you even... Listen, if he's true to what he's saying, he would pay those ladies back immediately, and he would deal with anything that he has to deal with afterwards. Whatever they put in, maybe you don't give them any interest, maybe you don't give them any money on top, but at minimum, you give them back their buying money, which is already a ripoff on its own, because that's money that they could have invested in the market, and the market has went up significantly over the last couple of years. So they absolutely could have just invested at 250, 160 and, you know, made 20, 30% off it, possibly even more, depending on how volatile they want to be with their investments. And it's insane because, like, he's not taking any accountability. He's saying it wasn't my fault, but this all started with you, sir. Okay? And you're still out here getting more money. So, you know, get me out the way, man. Like, you deal with all this legal stuff. I should not have to be suing you. This is crazy, team. Let's actually look at iFlipChicago, and they have a IG page. Let's pull up on their IG page real quick and see what we got. I wasn't going to do this at first, but now I'm actually more interested in this story than I thought I would be. Is this it? I think this is it. They got another one? No. This is the wrong one. Hold on. Which one did I find the first time? It's a Facebook page? iFlipChicago. No. iFlip. Oh, that's got spelled it wrong. Hold on. Okay, here it is. I was at the wrong one. There's a place called FlipChicago too, not to be confused with iFlipChicago. Oh, they got their website right here. Let's see what's going on. Is it still up? Looks like the website's down. Oh my God. Them ladies ain't getting no money back. They're not getting no money back. Bro couldn't even pay for his domain. It looks like they selling it for $16.99. Well, maybe not exactly, but from his own Facebook page, his own Instagram page, you click on it and it goes to a broken link website page. This is insane. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Okay, they're starting to get exposed. Scam. Do y'all know this is a scam? Don't know why people still giving money to these scam artists. They got DJ Envy tagged in here. Oh, he ain't posted on here since 2022. Oh, this is when he got into it with the girls. Would you like to host the NBA Finals here? Nope. This is an L, team. Let's see what else they got. That's their latest post. They got nothing on their stories. It's the guy here. See what he's saying. Only 1 week left to Chicago's registration sale for the beginning of the Black History Month. Oh my God, bro. Y'all be using black and just, you know, for my brothers and my people, and y'all be scamming your own people, bro. Like, y'all would never do this to the white man. You ain't see no white women. There's nothing but black women in this post. You see them down below? You see them opposite me over in the bottom corner? 2 black women scammed by 2 black people. For the beginning of Black History Month, we are offering $100 off the spring boot camp. This huge savings on an opportunity that will change your life forever. Deal ends 2022. Check out the link in the bio. check out the link in the bio. What that goes to your no longer renewed website? Yeah, okay. And this is when they were on fire. People were promoting this and joining. That's what their website looked like before it got shut down. And they are engaged in a whole bunch of legal battles. This was actually right when, because remember, like right after the pandemic, there was all of these properties that were being sold at insane prices because the interest rate was so low to where you were basically getting an interest-free loan, or it was really, really small, maybe like 1%. So what that means is that if you want to take out a loan for $400,000, if your interest rate is 0, you're just paying $400,000 over time. So it could take, but if, let's say right now that the interest rate, I don't know what it is right now. Last time I checked, it was around 7% or like 6.5%. We'll go with about 6.5%. That means that if you bought a house for $400,000, after you paid it off in 30 years, you would pay over $1 million for it, probably like 1.1 million. I'm guesstimating on the cost. But if your interest rate is around 6.5 to 7%, that's what you would end up paying with your payments. And not only that, your payments would be a lot higher as well. So instead of paying $1,400 a month, you could be paying $2,900 a month, something like that, something crazy, right? So at this time, the houses were more expensive, but the loan rates were less. So, that's something that you can consider. So when you're buying houses in a place like Woodland, or Woodlawn, I should say, the houses might cost less and you're getting really, really low interest loans. So it could have been more profitable when you explain it that way, but you're not understanding that location is the most important thing when it comes to real estate. So if nobody wants to buy your home because it's in a place where as soon as you walk up to the property, you got prostitutes walking up and down the street, and you got crackheads outside the residence warming themselves up next to an oil drum with flame coming out of it, smoking crack rock, and making s'mores with off-brand graham crackers. You ain't even got the real graham. You got the cheap dollar store, Dollar General graham crackers. You got the box for 99 cents. You ain't want to pay the $2.49 for the good brand. You open up your graham cracker, it dissolves in your hand immediately. So, team, like, I don't know. What do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about? Did they have a Facebook page? They got a Facebook. Let's see what's going on Facebook. I should join the group. Damn. Facebook is different, team. No new members in the last week. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get in. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are trying to get in just to see what's going on with them. And again, we go here. Their website is down. This is a disaster. And this is just because a lot of people are ashamed to actually come out with stories like this. These ladies were actually brave enough to come out and explain their loss to the world. Most people are just too ashamed. They lost 50. They're just like, you know what? I don't even want to even put myself out there and say that I got scammed like this. I feel like a complete fool for letting these hustlers talk me into this and sell me a dream. Should we try to join? I'll try to join. I know I'm not going to get in. But if I do get in, then maybe I'll do a follow-up story on this, and we'll see if we can see what's going on in the Facebook group. And then, because there is 6.4K members on here, right? So is this even them? Ramo Bay. That was him, right? Ramo Bay? And that's the lady. Can we go to her Facebook page? She ain't had no updates in a minute. I bet her body don't look like that no more. She probably got a big fat transfer. All the money that she took from the people, from her own people. Let's see the other guy. Let's see. See if his got anything on there. Ramo Bay. Is this him? I want to make sure I got the right guy. Hey, this is him. All right, hold on, let's see. 3 years ago, yeah, they ain't posted nothing since all the scandal started. They basically went dark. This guy just stepped up. Oh, he did try to post something in 2024. Thieves, liars, don't do it. Surprised he didn't delete that. You are such a horrible person. Was that the lady that got scammed in a video? Went to Martin Luther King High School? Sheesh. Anything that got like Martin Luther King or Obama Drive, they're always like super. We got to do better, team. We've got to do better. Let's see if this is still active. Let's see. I'd assume not. No, they're still taking money. Now you can get a coaching call, mentorship group for $49 billed monthly. Yeah, they're still taking money right now. They'll get an extra $50 here and there, whatever. A lot cheaper than before. You get the boot camp. The boot camp. Gonna boot you right up out into the street because you're gonna be broke. And they living their best lives. Wow. Everything was all good just 5 years ago. I mean, look, over here, you can see it right here. Look, everybody's all happy for him 5 years ago. Now everybody's calling them scammers. This is right before they got exposed. Oh my God, you guys are so beautiful. Is this an update? Oh. Yeah, team, so I don't know. Had to bring awareness to this. iFlipChicago. We're going to go dark for this. There's nothing good about this. And seems like all of this is just all civil. So they might not even face jail time or anything like this. They might end up in debt and buried in suits, but they might not even be able to sue them personally. They might be only able to sue their company. So if that's the case, then it's like, you ain't gonna see no money because their company's bankrupt. They siphoned all the money out of there. And this is the finesse that we see a lot. And like, what are you gonna do at this point? I mean, sucks, man. It really does. But this is gonna continue to happen. And that's the problem. But team, y'all can avoid this from happening to you. Anytime you're thinking about doing something like this, hit me up, all right? Leave a comment down below and say, hey, I want you to look into this situation. And I will do research on it and put out content and help y'all get a better idea of what's going on, because we got to create awareness for each other. Oftentimes, we're figuring things out when they're too late. And by that time, we end up in a situation that we can't get ourselves out of. And it's just so unfortunate because I don't like to see this happen. I'm going to leave it at that, team. I don't really got much more on this. I think we have seen everything, and I know it's frustrating for the victims involved, but at best, there won't be any more victims in the future. At least not with this specific company, but these companies are like pop-up tents. They're going to continue to, I can go right now and find a house flipping seminar to go to tomorrow, and they'll charge me $12.99. But wait, it was just $18.99. You're saving $500 if you sign up today. And they're going to have a slash between the $18.99 and have the $12.99 right there with like some animation around it and hurry up and click. And I don't need none of that. I don't need it. I'm out of here, team. Make sure you look out for someone that's close to you, all right? If you see anybody that's close to you when they're trying to get involved in this, just speak up and say something. Your words, it all starts with words. That's how this couple, Ramo Bey and his wife, it all started with them just saying words to people. And then all of a sudden, words lead to actions and actual tangible assets being siphoned from the people. So if you can just give people some good advice, a lot of times it's more helpful than you know. All right, team.